Budget Meeting. I am Bridget Souffrant, the Chief Financial Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. On behalf of our Mayor, Keith James, and our Commissioners, who include District 1, Commission President Kathleen Ward, District 2, Commissioner Shalonda Warren, District 3, Commissioner Christy Fox, District 4, Commissioner Joseph Peduzzi, and District 5, Commissioner Christina Lambert. We welcome you to this community budget meeting to present our balanced draft fiscal year 2025 budget. The draft 2025 balanced budget achieves strategic pillar number 8 from the strategic plan, demonstrating financial sustainability and operational excellence. I would like to take a minute to acknowledge City Administrator Faye Johnson for her work and effort in guiding this process, as well as Assistant City Administrator Jose Luis Rodriguez for his continuous support of our team and the budget process. I would also like to say thank you to the budget team, because without them, we would not be standing here today with a balanced budget and a finished presentation. Kyle Roberts, our budget manager, Rosanna Santana, our budget supervisor, and Sandra Jacques, our budget analyst, have worked endless hours and tireless nights in order to present this balanced budget. I also want to give a special thank you to Avril Smith, the newest member of our team, joining us and jumping right into this process. Thank you, team. I sincerely appreciate all that you do. Today, we're going to cover the mission, vision, and core values of West Palm Beach. We will review the budget process, briefly discuss property values and property tax revenue. We'll cover a millage rate history, and then go into reviewing a high-level summary of the fiscal year 2024-2025 draft general fund operating budget and budget highlights. West Palm Beach is a vibrant and diverse world-class city. In partnership with our communities, West Palm Beach delivers exceptional customer service that enhances quality of life, embraces inclusion, and promotes opportunity for all. Our core values are diversity, integrity, respect, excellence, collaboration, and transparency. These core values are apparent every day within our organization and are values that our employees embody. From the staff perspective, the budget process begins back in January, where we review our contracts and needs at the departmental level. In April, the departments are responsible for entering in their budget into the budget software. The departments are charged with entering in their basic and mandatory requirements. By that I mean they enter in their basic items needed to operate, such as office supplies or fuel, and then they enter their mandatory requirements, such as items set by union contract or terms of a multi-year contract with a vendor. If departments have a special request or a need that is not considered base or basic budget, they need to complete a special form for an above base budget request. Those requests are submitted to finance and then reviewed by city administration. In May, the finance team is reviewing and compiling data from all of the departments. June is when things really speed up, as we receive our preliminary taxable values and can estimate our tax revenue. We also hold our meetings with each of the departments, finance, and the city administrator to examine and review their budgets. In July, we receive our final taxable values. We hold the mayor and commission work sessions and the community budget meetings. In September, we have both public hearings related to adopting the budget and the millage rate. And in October, our fiscal year 2025 budget will go into effect. As we begin to review the numbers, I want to take a moment to put this data into context. The draft budget that we are about to review covers the general fund only. At this point, we are focused on the general fund with discussion on all funds happening at the budget public hearings. Additionally, this draft budget, while it is balanced, it is not 100% complete. We still are waiting on a few final numbers from the state and need to run a few final expenditures. With that being said, we are happy to present the fiscal year 2025 draft general fund budget, which is balanced at $263,553,936. In reviewing our draft fiscal year 2025 budget, it is critical to know and understand that this budget maintains our core services and programs, starting with public safety. It also maintains all quality of life services and programs throughout the city that are provided by library, parks and recreation, sanitation, and engineering, to name a few. The internal governance is maintained within this budget. The internal governance is set by the departments that work to assist all city programs. That is dealing with legal, procurement, finance, HR, and IT. We are also pleased that the draft fiscal year 2025 budget in front of you continues our budgeting best practices with continued funding for our vehicle replacement program, annual road paving program, police funding for vehicles per the collective bargaining agreement, funding for contingency, and new this year is a marketing program in the mayor's office. And in keeping in line with our efforts for financial sustainability and operational excellence, this draft budget funds a new 5-year computer replacement program. We are also happy to say that the draft budget in front of you continues funding for the programs and initiatives, and here are a few listed. Our Soul in the City program that the residents have come to know and to enjoy. The Police Bike Expansion Unit, Community Street Illumination Program, the Mayor's Jumpstart Academy, various community engagement initiatives, homelessness assistance, the Community Paramedic Program, as well as Keep West Palm Beach Beautiful. Shifting further into the expenditures present within the draft fiscal year 25 budget, under personnel, we have a cost of living adjustment for all employees and elected officials. We also have included the step pay for the public safety bargaining units. We have an increase to health insurance. We have reflected the public safety pension increases, as well as onboarding 31 grants positions into the general fund for public safety that were previously grant funded. There's an additional 2 positions in the mayor's office, which are offset by other operating reductions within the budget. The county property appraiser's office provides us with an estimated assessed value by June 1st and final values on July 1st. Again, this year, we saw an increase in our values between the June 1st preliminary and July 1st final values, with the final value number of $23,353,121,688 reported on July 1st. Our assessed values increased $133 million over the June 1st preliminary and increased $2.19 billion, or 10.96% over our fiscal year 2024 assessed value. Still my favorite slide of the year, where I get to look at the taxable value and the millage rate history. As we focus on the bottom row here, you see our $23.3 billion assessed value, or new taxable value. If we utilize our current millage rate of 8.1308, that generates an additional $12.5 million in tax revenue in the fiscal year 2025 draft budget. This slide shows us a millage rate history going back to 2019. In the greenish yellow, you have the operating millage rate, and in the orange is the specific debt millage. You can see in 2023 and in 2024 that the city chose to reduce the operating millage in that greenish yellow. You can also see that for 2025, the city is projecting to hold the operating millage flat at 8.1308. Moving into a high-level review of the numbers, focusing on the revenue sources by category. This chart shows the fiscal year 2024 adopted budget in comparison to the fiscal year 2025 draft budget for general fund revenues. Looking at those revenues in another way, we turn to our pie chart, which shows us that the majority of our revenue within the general fund, 52.5%, are attributed directly to property taxes. The second largest revenue source at 18.4% is charges for services. Charges for services can include our administrative fees, sanitation fees, and EMS revenue, just to name a few. The third largest funding source is intergovernmental revenue, which generally is our state aids at 11.7%. This slide details for you by revenue category the category increase or decrease compared to the fiscal year 2024 budget. So again, we see that our property tax revenue increased, rounded $12.6 million. Charges for services increased $3.9 million. Intergovernmental revenue increased $942,000. We had a $1.2 million increase for licenses and permits, a $1.5 million increase in other taxes. Fines and forfeitures increased $340,000, and interest income went up $250,000. Miscellaneous revenue saw a decrease of $381,000, and transfers into the general fund increased by $256,000. Moving on to our expenditures. This again is the high-level review of the expenditures by category, comparing the fiscal year 2024 adopted budget to the fiscal year 25 draft budget. Reviewing in the pie chart form again, we see that 65.7% of our general fund expenditures are directly attributed to personnel services. The second largest source is materials and services at 17.6%, and then our internal service charges at 6.8%. Reviewing the change from the FY fiscal year 2024 budget to the draft 2025 budget by category, personnel services increased $21.3 million. We saw a $3.1 million increase in materials and services, $281,000 increase in internal service charges, a decrease of $772,000 in capital outlay, a $246,000 increase in debt service costs, a $45,000 increase in grants, and a $3.5 million decrease in transfers out of the general fund and contingency. Here are the remaining key dates for our budget process. August 19th, we will have the final fire assessment rate resolution and chronic nuisance assessment resolution. On September 9th, we will hold the first public hearing to adopt the tentative budget and millage rate. September 25th will be our final public hearing for the budget and millage rate, where we will be looking for budget adoption. Then having on October 1st, the fiscal year 2025 budget going into effect. For an opportunity to ask questions or share your comments about the proposed 2025 City of West Palm Beach budget, please scan the QR code below or visit slido.com and enter in 2038568. For those of you who would like to know more about the programs and quality of life services the city offers, please visit our website to view information for housing, parks and recreation, and the library. With that, are there any questions from the public? I will take that as a no. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone.